Good morning, everyone. Welcome back after our Thanksgiving break. And today we are back to working with the hips. And while I was away, I was staying with a friend who had a lot of hip pain stuff. So I gave her a private practice while I was away and reminded me of lots of things to teach you today as well. So just getting started, bending your knees and feeling your feet as you exhale, feeling the earth. Inhale, straightening the legs and maybe pulling up on the kneecaps if that's comfortable. Exhale, bend the knees tracking over second toes. Inhale, pulling up. Just starting with that grounding. Exhale, I can bend even a little bit more. And inhale, maybe moving into the upper back, neck, and shoulders, opening the chest. Exhale, hands on the hip area. So second chakra area, pelvis, below the belly button, just touching that area. Inhale, opening up like the radiant sun behind me today. Exhale, making a ha sound. Inhale. If you can, inhaling into the chest, then the belly. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. This is Apana Vayu as we bend the knees to feel the feet and that whole downward flow right to the feet. Inhale, Prana Vayu. Inhale into the chest, into the belly, filling up with new energy, new light. Exhale, Apana, letting go of old stuff. Pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in, and the energy flows down to the feet as you do that. Inhale. Filling up from the chest to the belly. Exhale, letting go from the pelvic floor to the belly button to the chest. Adding some humming if you like. Feel how that stimulates the sinuses, the throat, the chest, maybe into the belly. This helps us clear the mind, calm the nervous system. Helps us lengthen the exhale. Now adding Om and possibly moving the arms to heart height. Hands to the heart. Om has three parts, A, U, and silence after. Those parts all blend together. And one last time, maybe arms a little higher now. Feet together. Inhale, arms up by the sides, radiating like the sun. Maybe looking up at your hands. Exhale through the center. Inhale. radiant sun. Exhale, waterfall if you like. Hands at the hips. Make an intention linked to this area of the body-mind. May I experience emotional freedom. May I let go of whatever it is so that I can experience that emotional freedom. It might be something just simple. May I be healed. May I heal. May I be healed. May I be whole. When you're ready, inhale, coming up to the sides, coming up on your toes. Exhale, coming down and coming to one side as you come down, so come to your left perhaps. Inhale, coming up on the toes. And exhale, other side. You can stay on the toes as long as you like, just to work that balance. You can even stay up the whole time if you want to really work it. Feel the effect into the side body and maybe into the hips, especially if you stick the hip out, you can get a bit deeper into the hip lower back area. Jalandhara Bandha as you inhale, chin down. This actually helps us ground the energy. Helps the upper movement, the Udana Vayu, turn into Apana, the downward movement. Just keep that in mind. That's an ancient idea from the yogis, from Nata Muni. He's one of Krishnacharya's famous yoga relatives, and that was one of his teachings. It's keeping that chin down. Jalandhara Bandha. It's easiest to do at the end of the inhale. And it helps that downward movement, even when you're doing something like this, which is quite upward. We're going to stay in the next one. If that works, you can keep it moving. So if for you moving works better, don't stay, because this can be intense, especially if you haven't been active yet this morning. And as you stay on the side, you can make it more intense by crossing that left foot over and maybe holding opposite elbows or that top arm, especially if you have scoliosis on this side. Just breathing there. If it's too intense, just move back and forth, in and out. Try to align those shoulders. So there's a tendency for all of us, I'm doing it a bit because my scoliosis, to collapse that shoulder. So just remembering that can be a bit harder. And then inhale, center, exhale, other side. Take a break if you need to in terms of the arms. So the arms can be like this. They can be folded elbows. This one's particularly good for the upper back. Get into that rib cage a bit by holding that top elbow, the top wrist, and crossing the right foot over the left. And just watching to derotate that top shoulder, it will tend to collapse. And breathing, sticking that hip out, the opposite hip out. That left hip. Getting into your QL, inhale, center. Exhale, hands to the heart. All right, so one side at a time. Just keep going with that theme, and I'm going to use the chair. So we're going to come to the back of the mat and bring the left foot forward. Now you will have to adjust if you're using a chair to where your forward bend is with the chair. Now, some of you, your forward bend might be just like this. Your back foot turned out to comfort, your heel to heel alignment. So your forward bend might be here. Your forward bend, if you want to make it a little harder, you can come down with your head to the chair. If that doesn't work, you can take a block and you can use that for support to make it higher. Okay, so just find your forward bend, and then we're going to move in and out of this. All right, so inhale, arms coming up. I'm going to actually not use a block. Inhale, arms coming up front. And exhale, coming forward. And forehead on the chair or the block, or your arms straight, okay? Inhale, arms sides. So this is working with the legs. And then we're going to get into the hips from this position. Exhale. Keep that going. Exhale. Just warming up those legs. You can always bend that front knee. Now staying here, maybe you can bring your hands down. And maybe you can bring them to the little toe side of your foot and twist your head also towards the side of the chair, just for a bit more support. And feel that stretch all the way into the outside of the hip. Now you can go beyond the chair as well, if you like, go even deeper into it. Just keep that going. And when you're ready, you're going to go to the other side. So bringing your hands to the floor, to the inside, to the big toe side of the foot, the head on the seat of the chair, or it can go away from the chair and get into the inner groin. So again, your head can be on the chair for more support. You might actually get a deeper stretch doing that, or go away from the chair. Just see what works better for you, and feel the groin stretch, the inner thigh. Come back to the center. Let's do a chair downward dog. Inhale, looking up, just going into those neck and shoulders. Exhale, coming back. You can bend the knees if you like. Feel that stretch under the armpits, into the lower back. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. When coming forward with your right leg, left leg turned out. And when you found your position for your forward bend, whether you're using blocks, straight legs, or your head comes to the seat of the chair, coming up to standing, we're going to do a vinyasa 4 to 6 times. Inhale, arms coming up sides. Exhale, forward bend. Just choosing your version of this. Inhale up. So using the chair just lessens that forward bend. I know one of you has trouble with the forward bends in your practice, so this might solve that, using the chair for more support. And you can also get rid of it, of course. Exhale. That act of surrender, coming forward, letting go. You can bring to mind your bhavana, what you, in the beginning, you decided you wanted to let go of, or what you want to fill yourself up with. All right, so now just staying in the center and breathing here. When you're ready, going to that little toe side of the foot, you can use the chair or come off the chair. You can have blocks under your hands as well, or you can just use the chair for support. This one is really nice if you are using the chair to have a bigger surface like an ottoman or something. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. That's a really nice height. So again, you can use the chair, something like that. You can have a little movement in it. Inhale, looking up, exhale, forward. When you're ready, coming back to the center, just take another couple of breaths there. When you feel complete, coming to your chair down dog. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, bend the knees, looking back. This is for the upper and lower back. Just keep that going a few more rounds. When you're ready, coming to your samastiti. Finding your samastiti. Just notice how you feel. Let's just do a forward bend, both legs now. Now you can use the chair or not. I'm going to do it without the chair. Again, if you have trouble with your forward bends, you can do this, bringing your head to the chair. Okay, so if you find the forward bends difficult, do that adaptation. Otherwise, without the chair, inhale, arms to the side. We're going to do 2 with Om, 2 with Om Namo, 2 with Om Namo Namaha. Exhale. Om. Inhale. Feel free to adjust your feet. If one leg's longer than the other, bring that one back. Om Namo. Om Namo. Inhale. Om Namo. Next one, Om Namo Namaha. Om Namo Namaha. Try to take a little pause between each part of the chant to make this a krama exhale, exhale in steps. Om Namo Namaha. We're gonna add one more krama, one more step. Om Namo Namaha. Om Namo Namaha. That ha, draw the belly in. Inhale one more. Exhaling from the pelvic floor up in each one of those steps. Om Namo Namaha. Just staying in your forward bend and breathing. Again, you can be doing it like this or at the chair. Chair, you can have the arms straight. Your head can be on blocks. You can have one foot behind the other if one lays longer than the other. This can really help balance the hips and we'll feel much better in the kneecaps. When you're ready, coming up, slowly inhale halfway, hands on the thighs, exhale, stay. Inhale, coming the rest of the way up. Exhale to your center and just stand in your samastiti for a moment and just notice how you feel. So we're going to go into side bends. So Utthita Trikonasana, and we're going to go into the hips right away for this. So you're going to bring your feet apart in an equilateral triangle. And you're going to turn your right foot in and your left foot out. And if you're using the chair, which I'm going to show for support, you'll go like this. Otherwise, your hand will go to the leg. This is an option. I know some of you have some back issues, so this might feel better. So I'm going to show like that. Your hand can come to also your shin or to a block. Okay, so I'm going to show with the chair to get it today. Inhale, arms coming up. And this is going to target this right hip. Exhale. Imagine a wall behind you you're coming to, and I'm going to use that chair. And I'm going to bend my elbow, but you could have the arm straight. And inhale, coming up. And just keep that going. Exhale, side. Try to keep those shoulders aligned. Okay, so I see some of you doing that. So just try to align those shoulders. Inhale, coming up. Looks good. And you can feel all those triangles in your body. Triangle is a symbol of unity, of balance, of harmony. The opposites coming together in ananta, harmony, infinite harmony. Exhale. You can imagine a circle drawn around a triangle, creating that harmony. It's an ancient symbol, many cultures. After doing this 4 to 6 times, you're going to stay if that's comfortable. Now make this a bit more intense on that hip. You're going to inhale, stretch that top arm. So again, this can be very helpful to have the chair to help you do this. And exhale, Bring that arm up. Inhale, extend. Now when we bring the arm up the next time, we're going to exhale and turn the head away and the arm back. This is for the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, extend that arm long, feel it into the hips, stretch the palms, the fingers as long as possible away from you. Exhale, hand back. You can always bend that left knee if it's becoming uncomfortable. So you can bend it a bit. And just finishing up. Hope you enjoyed that stretch. Inhale, coming up very lazily. It's a lot of work. And I'm going to be switching my chair to the other side. The other side. Okay, so I'm showing this because one of you got back to me and was having some trouble with your back in the poses. So I'm just showing with the chair and just encourage you to try to use it because you get into the pose in a different way when you use the chair, even if you do it without. Inhale, arms up. Your choice on that. Exhale, extend that triangle nice and long. Keep those shoulders aligned. The arm can be straight or you can bend it, which takes you further into the pose if you're using the chair. Inhale, coming up. Of course, you can use the block. You can also bring your hand to the shin. I'll show that. And classically, it goes right to the ankle. Now, if you don't hold on to the leg, you're going to use your core a lot more. So you can also, the hardest version is you're just free form and you're just there, creating all those triangles, that lower triangle, that triangle from the top hand down to the feet. Inhale. Doing this around 6 times, picking your modification, whatever version you want to do. They're all helpful. I like playing with all of them myself. Even though I can do the classical, I like playing with the variations to feel the pose differently. And I think we're at about 6. We're going to stay after the next one. Again, you can bend that front knee, especially if you find your knees twisting to the center because of the twist in the pelvis. You might want to bend the knee and just align it a bit when we're staying here, just for safety. I'm going to keep my arms straight for this to get better lines. Inhale, extend that top arm and feel that left hip. And exhale, hand up and back and look down. This is for neck and shoulders. Many people love this adaptation from Gary Kraftsow. Inhale, extend. Yoga for Wellness, wonderful book in our tradition. Exhale, hand back. Draw the belly in, look back. Inhale, extend. Just see, you can play with that bottom hand, even on the chair, and get a different angle. Doing that 4 to 6 times when you feel complete. You just come up quite lazily. It's a pretty intense stretch. You just take it easy as you come up. And feel those 2 sides of your hips having done that. Okay, we're going to do a forward bend in between. Bringing the left foot behind the right. I do this one a lot for hips and lower back. And 2 of you, 3 of you, 2 of you have scoliosis today. And I have scoliosis, so I use this one a lot for balancing the hips. Inhale, arms come up. This I learned from my teacher, Sridhar, D.V. Sridhar in Chennai. Exhale, coming forward. And it was a real game changer for me in terms of getting out of some persistent hip pain that started creeping up in middle age. Exhale, forward, fold. Draw from the pelvic floor up to the belly button in as you come forward. This is also a balance pose. Now you can, some of you might be doing this with the chair because it will be less intense on the lower back. Okay, so you can modify that way. It's much less intense using the chair for your forward bend. Otherwise, the full pose, if you can. You can also just have your hands on the thighs or the shins. You can use that for support rather than a chair. When you feel ready, staying in the pose, I think we've done around 6, so stay in the pose. Feel that stretch of the left leg into the hip and lower back. Can be helpful for sciatica, but it can be too intense to stay. Sciatic nerves don't like to be stretched in this fashion. They like to be flossed. So if you have sciatic pain that runs in the side of the hip down the leg, you might want to just keep this going for those of you watching the video. When you're ready, coming up very lazily, and do the other side. You'll feel a bit imbalanced having done that one side, switching sides. The right leg behind the left. We start with the left. Classically, you can also always start with the side that's easy for you and go to your hard side. So you can always do that. Inhale, that's more a yoga therapy approach. Classically, left to right. Inhale, arms coming up like the radiant sun. Exhale, coming forward. Hands to chairs, to your thighs, to your shins, to blocks, or all the way to the floor, your choice. Now you're going to feel the stretch into that back hip, your right hip. Inhale, coming up. Exhale forward. Keep this going in your own timing. Around 6 times, and then stay. You can bring in your bhavana. As you exhale, you can say, I'm letting go of, fill in the blank. And on your inhale, you can say, I am filling up with, fill in the blank. This is the concept from the Yoga Sutras, Abhyasa Vairagya Vyam Tannirodha, chapter 112. What do you want to practice? What do you want to bring in? Abhyasa. Vairagyam, what do you want to cut away? As you exhale, what do you want to cut away? Staying in that forward bend. Getting the balance of those two takes us to a very clear, focused mind that is able to reflect the light of the heart, the soul. Keep this flowing. If staying doesn't feel good for anything in that hip, that right hip. When you're ready, coming up, coming to your samastiti. Just take a break and notice how you feel. All right, so now we are ready for some rotation. So I'm going to just move my chair back here. You're going to bring your left leg forward. Now we've prepared for this, your right foot back, heel to heel alignment, heel to arch, or even wider. And we're going to work with the chair. We've really prepped for this. So hopefully this feels good. If you have any sciatica problems in your lower back, you might not want to do this. in a full rotation. So just be careful. The higher you keep it, the more it's going to be in the upper back. So with the arms straight, it's going to be very much upper back. So even with SI joint issues, sorry, not sciatica, SI joint issues, this is probably okay for you, but just be careful. Inhale here, I'm going to start with straight arms. Exhale, you're going to twist to your left. So I've got my left leg forward and I'm twisting to my left. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. And you should be feeling a stretch in the outside of the hip. We've been working on that a lot today. And inhale, extend. Okay, so if you want to take this up a notch as you twist, you can bring the arm up. So that's exhale. Inhale, you're going to extend the spine long. So twists ideally are done in exhale. That's why we're exhaling now. Until it could feel a little bit like an inhale. Inhale, extend. Now, if you want to take it even deeper, you can come away from the chair and you can use blocks. Your inhale is here and exhale is here. If you can go deeper still, you change the angle of the blocks to more towards the ground. And once you've found your sweet spot today, every day is going to be different. You're going to stay there. Now try to that front hip, try to draw it back. It will want to come forward. Now, if this is too much to stay, you can play with just moving the head. As you inhale, look away, look down, exhale, look up, or look just front. Remember, the focus is on the hips. That top arm can be behind you, hand on the lower back. You can inhale, untwist anytime, and exhale, stay. I really like this one actually with the chair. And you can come down to a folded arm at the chair as well. It's another variation. Okay, when you're ready, coming into just a forward bend, one-sided forward bend, just stay there and breathe, whatever version you're doing with the chair. Arms might be straight, arms bent, or coming back. And again, you can use those blocks. Or get rid of them. Just stretching that front leg. And stayed 4 to 6 breaths, stepping forward. Lazily coming up. Inhale halfway. Exhale, stay. Inhale the rest of the way. And release. You're going to feel quite a difference between left and right now. So let's do the other side. So even it out. Let's bring your right foot forward, your left foot back. I'm just going to start again with the chair to show that my arms are straight. Inhale here, exhale, turning to the side. I'm going to start with my hand on my lower back. Ideally, classically, you're looking up, otherwise look just to the side. Inhale, extend the spine nice and long. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. You can add the full arm if that's comfortable. You can make it harder by bending that lower arm. Keep drawing that front hip back, that right hip, but turn it back as you do that exhale, inhale. Lengthen the spine, exhale, coming into it. Some of you might move to blocks. Notice one side might be quite different than the other, especially for those of you with scoliosis or other imbalances of the spine. Just Be aware you might need to do it a little bit differently on one side versus the other. This, for example, is my hard side, not as much rotation. That's okay, that's just individual anatomy differences. Now, if it's comfortable, you're going to stay in the position. I'm going to go to the chair for this one. This is my hard side. And you're just going to stay here. Keep drawing that top hip back, that right hip back. And you can move the head if that feels better. Inhale, untwist, exhale, twist. Keep drawing that right hip back. It will want to come forward. You want this more for your upper back. Keep the top arm straight. And that makes it more about the upper back. It won't get into those SI joints as much. And when you're finished, come into your forward bend using the chair or not. Use the blocks. Or the floor. Heel to heel alignment or heel to arch. Parshva Uttanasana. Previous pose was Trikonasana triangle, 3 angles, Trikonasana. Parivriti, twist. This is Parshva Uttanasana, one-sided forward bend. You can have those twists of this pose by bringing the hands to one side that we worked on earlier, if that feels better in your body and your hips. When you're ready, stepping forward, coming up in your own time. You'll feel a little bit out of balance. So let's do a forward bend. Let's just do a very neutral one. We're going to do a spinal stretch with the chair. You can skip this and just do a regular forward bend if you're not using a chair today. Hands at the back of the chair. I've got them on the top. And just really stretching the back. Again, if you've got an imbalance in your hips, you might have one foot behind the other. Notice the difference when you bring your hands down lower, how it feels, where it goes into your legs and your back. Is that better for you or worse? This is stretching under the armpits as well, like a downward facing dog. Stretching those lats, lateral muscles. You can work with the neck and shoulders by inhaling, pressing the hands down, looking up. Exhale, looking down. You can bend your knees or keep them straight. This is for the lower back and upper back. And coming out of that. All right. So we're going to do one more set. Trikonasana Parivriti, but we're going to do vinyasa style. This is more disc chair style. So just take a moment in your samastiti and feel how perhaps you are in your hips right now. Are you more standing on one foot versus the other? Just notice that. Just take a moment to do that. We'll move into our Trikonasana. So, Trikonasana Parivriti Vinyasa version. All right, You can do this with the chair as well. So I'm just going to start with that for those of you for whom this is appropriate. So you do this with your feet in triangle, but I'm going to actually bring my chair here. You can see a bit better, I hope. Inhale, arms center. Exhale, coming to your left, and your arm can be straight. Your hand can be on your lower back, and you just align those shoulders. So this is more about the upper back, this twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. The hand can be up to the sky or on your lower back. So that's more about the upper back twist. If you want to take it deeper now, you can bring your forearm to the seat of the chair. It can be right in the center or off to one side. So you're to your left side. And this is basically the classical pose. When you end up bending the elbow, you're basically going as low as you do with the hand on the ground, but it's a lot more stable because you have that prop. So that's your next adaptation. Now I'm going to move the chair. Got out of the video. Next adaptation is you can use blocks. So inhale, center. Exhale, coming to your left. And decide how much you want to twist. Do you want it more upper body or more lower back? You come more to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other block. Can be right in the center. That's more upper back, or take it more towards one side, and it's going a little bit more into the hips and lower back. Now, can you take it deeper still? Maybe the block goes down a notch. Align those shoulders. Inhale, untwist, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale, other side. And maybe those blocks coming down, keeping the hips even, and twisting the upper back, neck and shoulders. Inhale. And the full pose going all the way to the foot. And the little toe side, smooth those. You don't want the triangle to be too big. Keeping those hips even. Inhale and twist the head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Chest falls, turn the head. Inhale, untwist the head. You can always skip the head part if it's too much. And notice the effect of this in the hips, wherever you've gotten to. It's also very much working with letting go of toxins. Toxins in the GI tract. And balancing the digestive fire, the Jatra Agni, Trikonasana Parivriti. Just going to do one more round. When you're ready, finishing up. And that one also is wonderful for the nervous system. You might feel very calm after doing that. It's very rhythmic, pendulating side to side. You're activating one hemisphere of the brain and then the other. Doing cross-lateral movements, great for brain health. You're bringing the head up and then down and up and down, and that really tones the nervous system, that kind of movement, and the circulatory system. So we're going to do a squat now, and I'm going to start this with the chair, and then some of you will keep going. So this is step one, using the chair. If
you know the full squat, you can just do that right now. Utkatasana. We're going to start with Ardha Utkatasana halfway down. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, hands coming down. Make sure that you reach that chair and you don't fall. I've got the chair at the wall for more steadiness. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, sit down. Now you can hover above that chair as well or sit all the way down. And inhale up. This is very balancing for the hips doing this. Now, if you want to keep going, you can try it without the chair. For this one, I usually do my tree hugging arms. Inhale, arms side. Exhale, hug that tree. Go a little deeper now. And your weight's going to be a bit more forward as you do that. If you like doing a land acknowledgement, I'm going to acknowledge the seashell nation that I am practicing on this morning in Sexswamin, Garden Bay, Kapelin, Pender Harbor. And this territory that I'm on, this land I'm on, was very sacred to the Seashell Nation. Over 5,000 people lived here in long houses on the shores in the winter. This was their winter retreat. Many, many ceremonies, potlatches, the mountain just behind me, Daniel Mountain. They had coming of age ceremonies. So I'm on a very sacred land. Think about that for yourself, where you come from. Any of those stories that maybe you're becoming aware of. So you acknowledge the land, the territory, the peoples, the first peoples. I always try to bring this into my practice. We're going to go into full Utkatasana. If that works for you, you can use the chair. Inhale, arms front, exhale, sitting down. Now the heels can come off the ground. You can use the chair. So this might be your pose here. If this is not working for you, just use the back of the chair and see if you can sink a little bit deeper. Also, if you know that you're like me and you need something under your heels to do the full squat, you can do that or not. Inhale, arms up. So pick whatever variation works for your body. This might be too much to the knees to go beyond Ardha Utkatasana, okay? It might be too much for your knees, so be careful. Inhale up. So the chair version, holding the seat of the chair or the back of the chair can be really helpful. Or if you've got a balcony or a railing, holding a railing can let you go deeply into it. It's wonderful for the lower back. It's also very balancing for the hips. And we're working on Apana Vayu here, that downward flow of energy. So this is fantastic for constipation of mind and body. This is the Apana pose. And then maybe staying in the pose. Again, you could have your hands on rails or on a chair. Inhale, arms up. I'm going to interlock my fingers. Exhale, release. We're just staying in that release pose. If you add the arms, it gets into the upper back, neck and shoulders, and then lower back as you exhale. Very good for decompressing the lower back and balancing the hips. So if you go see a physio about hip imbalances, they'll inevitably give you squats. It's one of the things that physios do, and I learned that from them, and I have found it to be extremely helpful. It's great to have all these different modalities. Just take a seat. I'm going to sit in Vajrasana Diamond for my hips. You can sit with open hips if that feels good for your hips. My hips don't like that much without a lot of preparation. So just find your pose and take a break. This is not comfortable. You can
lie down right away. If you have a chair, we're going to move that chair. So just getting ready for our supine part of the class. And we're going to start by doing some cat-cow. So just get ready for cat-cow. We'll just do a little bit of cat-cow isolated today with some leg movement. So if this doesn't work for your wrists, you can fold your mat and line up your knuckles with the end of the folded mat. So that's one thing you can try. This is hurting your wrists. You can also use fists, which I know many of you know that have wrist issues. Okay, or if this doesn't hurt you, you can have your hands on the ground. Inhale, extending your left leg out and looking front. Exhale, bring it in and come back to your place. So your place might be just here, drawing the belly in. You stretch for the lower back, or it might be all the way back to child. Inhale, extend the other side. Chakravakasana. Exhale, this strengthening for the lower back and for the hips. Inhale, extend. Exhale, coming back. Just finishing your last round. In this pose, child's pose, we're going to work this a little bit. All right, so you're going to bring your left hand lined up with your left knee. We haven't done this one in a while, and again, you can do this using fists. You can also use a block that can feel better on the wrist and also even give you more height if it's not feeling good in your body. I'm going to use the block today. So inhale here and exhale, and then you're going to inhale, extend the top arm nice and long, and feel that stretch through the whole side body into the hip. And exhale, you're going to come forward. Now, some of you might be able to bend the bottom knee, that left knee, and stretch through the right groin. Inhale, coming up. And exhale, coming forward. I haven't taught this one in a while. It's a great way to get into the groin as you exhale, and then inhale, get into the side of the hip and into also the rib cage. Exhale, pelvic floor, lower belly, belly button in. Doing that around 6 times and then staying in the pose. And if it's possible, hands forward. And then inhale, come forward and arch forward. Exhale, come back to where you can. Now the arch of my right foot is lined up with my left knee. Inhale, coming forward. So again, this is targeting those hips. You could use blocks under the hands to take pressure off the wrists.
You can also turn your hands out. That sometimes can take pressure off wrists or wider hands. Let's switch sides after doing 4 to 6 of these. Switching sides. You might need a different setup on the side. So we'll just start in the upper position, just finding that pose for you. And of course, you can have a blanket under the knees if you need that support. So classically, in our tradition, we do kneeling poses as a transition to supine. So I'm trying to bring that back in classes where I can. Some of my students can't do that very well, but if you guys are able. So when you're ready, you're going to inhale, extend that arm long. You're going to your right now. And then exhale, sweeping forward. And I'm going to leave the hand in front of me, but you could bring it to the other foot, that left foot. Inhale, sweeping up. And exhale forward. Now again, those of you with imbalances in those hips, you might find you need your block in a different place on this side. So from this side, I actually might leave my block a little higher to get comfort into that hip. Feel free to adjust. That might change over time. And your hand might be on the floor. And after doing around 6 of these, you're going to stay down and we're going to do back and forward. Could have blocks under the hands. You can turn the hands out, inhale, coming up. And exhale, going back to where you can. You might not be able to go back very far, it depends on your knee. Trying to get into that left groin. You might feel one side more than the other, just notice that. Doing this 4 to 6 times. And finishing up. Just go into child's pose and rest. You can have your knees turned out for a more hip version of this. You can put a bolster or block underneath the belly for more support of the lower back. Even just a block turn like this can, for some people, be enough, or a bolster. Or you can release that. Ideally, your belly is touching the floor, and if it's not, you just block up until it connects with something. Some of you can try turning your feet out, but that can be pretty intense. I personally don't like that, but some people do. So if you want to do that, you can. Okay, and when you're ready, coming onto your back. Just lie there for a moment. We're going to go into a bit of rotation now of the hips. So just starting with your legs bent, arms at the side, and just bringing knees to the side as you exhale and inhale center. And then you can leave one knee up and bring the other one down. Reach that knee that's down towards the opposite big toe. You're getting into the thigh. If it's comfortable staying on one side, breathing there, you can inhale, move the hips more to the side, exhale, release. You can also take the outer foot and put it on the inner thigh. You can always have blocks to support you, that outer knee for more comfort. Switching sides. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. Inhale, take the hips more to the side. Exhale, release, keep that going across that outer foot on top of the inner thigh, maybe using a block under the other knee for more support. Just feel that stretch into the psoas, the hip flexor area. Or perhaps at the QL again, or piriformis, perhaps a little bit, probably more QL. And into the thigh. A lot of people have tight thighs. When you're ready, release that. Keep going. Get across your left foot over your right. I'm going to switch this way so it's matching with what you see. And in this position, you're going to twist side to side. Inhale, center, exhale, other side. As you inhale, open that hip a bit. And then exhale, go to the side. Now, when you go to the side, you could have a landing pad of a block. You could also hold that ankle to take it a bit more deeply into the piriformis. If you like, after doing around 4 rounds, you might stay in this cross position with the left leg over towards the right. Again, that foot could be on a block, that left foot. If it's not comfortable, keep it moving side to side. You could also hold the other foot. And when you're ready, switching sides. You just start by inhaling, opening that hip, that right hip. And exhale, bring it over to the left. Inhale, open the hip, using my right hand to help. Exhale, other side. On this side, it's stretching that left QL area again. Into the IT band, inhale center, exhale side. You can use the hands to support you. You go side to side to make it more intense. Doing this side to side 4 to 6 times. You might just continue this, or you might stay on either side for more stretch. I'm going to stay on the left, which is giving my right piriformis more stretch, and I'm going to hold that lower foot if I can today. After saying 4 to 6 breaths, releasing. Doing a counter pose before we do our final twist. Happy baby pose. You want to do the full vinyasa. Inhale, extend the legs up, holding the big toes or the sides of the feet, or you can just hold the calves or even just the thighs. So you can do it. Simplest version is just holding those thighs, or hold the calves. Or you can hold the big toes, or if you can, the little toes. That will more evenly stretch the full leg. You could also use 2 belts, a belt on each foot. As you inhale, try to keep the lower back down. This is stretching the lower back out. It's a counter pose for the lower back and the legs. So our final twist before we go into relaxation. Now you might need some blocks or bolsters for this. So I'm just going to have one of my blocks ready, but if you know you need more support, get a bolster or a big pillow. You're going to shift your hips towards the right. That's step 1. You're going to come into fetal position on your left. So I'm showing it the same as my body's doing it. Yeah, that's nice. I can see some of you but quite close in your cameras. Thank you. And you're going to, that's very fun. You're going to extend your lower leg. And then your right leg is crossed up on top. And I've got a block here. I hope you can see me okay here. Yeah, it looks like you can see me. And then you're going to open your chest towards the right and try to get those shoulders down. Now, if the shoulders don't come down, that's a sign that you probably need more height on this twisted leg. So you can see the difference. When I lift it higher, my shoulder goes totally down. I'm going to work with it and get my shoulder down. You can also put a blanket under that right shoulder or even a block. And you're just going to stay here. We've prepared for this the whole class. This is our peak pose right at the end. This is wonderful for the lower back and hip. It's also very cleansing for the GI tract. Now we could hold that lower foot as we did earlier to get into the thigh. That's pretty advanced, but if you can do that, that can be really nice for working, stretching that lower leg, the left leg, the left thigh. Just breathing here. I've got my legs bent rather than straight to target the hips more. Jatra Parvriti, Ekapada version. When you're ready, switch sides. That's too intense for your back. You just do the windshield wipers or any of the earlier twists we did, okay? You can do a counter in between also if you need it, knees to chest. We're going right away to the other side. Hips center, my legs are bent. This is a modified way of getting into this. Bringing the hips to the left, bringing your knees to the right in fetal position. I'm placing my block underneath my right bent knee. Oh, sorry, I apologize. There, okay, let's try this again. So legs are to your right. You're going to straighten your lower leg. There you go. So that right leg is straight, the left leg on top, and I put my block under that left knee. And you might also put a bolster or even two bolsters under that top leg so that your shoulder goes down, this left shoulder. Okay. Otherwise, and you can use no block if you can get the leg down and your shoulders down. Feel that stretch in the left hip, lower back, that whole area. We've been working a lot today into the IT band possibly. Drop that hip down. Imagine your teacher is drawing your hip down, or you can do that with your hand. Possibly hold that lower foot to stretch the right thigh. When you feel complete, coming out of the pose, move back. Very simple counter pose, Apanasana. We're going to do hip version. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, open. Exhale, knees in. Inhale, open. You can switch the direction. Opening as you inhale, exhale, coming in. And if it's comfortable, staying in Apanasana, knees to chest. Hugging on top or underneath the knee, especially with knee trouble. We worked a lot on Panavayu today, that downward flow of energy. When you feel ready, moving into your Shavasana. The feet at the wall, you can have blocks under the thighs or a bolster pillow. Just notice when you're lying there, classical Shavasana, the feet just turn out. And what I notice after doing a class like this or a practice for myself is that my hips that's normally quite locked is turned out as much as my other one. So just notice that. I like to have my feet at the wall parallel so that my hips keep very balanced. If you choose this version, you might feel like a hip that tends to be tight and higher is all of a sudden feels like that leg is now longer and sinking down. Just staying in this pose and resting. I'm just going to ask you to consider coming up to seated or just keep lying there for our close. Just touching your hips if you're lying there or seated. Just remembering your bhavana, your intention. What was it that you wanted to let go of today? What was it that you wanted to draw in? What was your practice, abhyasa? And what was your vairagyam, your cutting away? And say to yourself, I'm letting in. Fill in the blank. Maybe it's changed from the beginning of the class. Exhale, I'm letting go of, fill in the blank. And beyond the opposites, there's this vast open space where we experience peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace. Namaste. Namaskaram. Thank you very much. A great rest of your Sunday and week ahead.